we'll use the 18 gauge 1.5" needles, so these long green ones, not the 14 gauge ones. Jordan and I gave a group the 14 gauge ones one time without realizing it was a lot harder for them. So
we're like, these feel kind of bad at jugular.
All right. All right, you guys get to learn on hard mode, so you're going to be better for it. It is a lot easier to see on dairy cattle because they're just not so muscled. You know, dairy cattle have that slimmer a little bit. So even on ones where you can't see it as well, can't find it, a good way to find where you need to hold off is you can run your hand down over this muscle, and where you kind of fall in here, this is your jugular groove. So your vessel is going to be in here. You know that when you come off of that muscle. You want to hold off as low as possible to give yourself a lot of room to work with without shoving your hand in the chute here, because they can still move their body. You don't want to get your hand squished, and you need to hold off really, really hard. So, you know, on most smaller animals, horses, whatever, you can just use a finger or something to hold off. Not these guys, because remember we talked about they were going through leather and they have a really thick walled jugular, and it's like a garden hose size. So it takes a lot of pressure to hold it off. I usually use all of my knuckles or like a full fist to hold off on them. So you can hold off here. You can start to see it pop up a little bit here. And if you're ever having a hard time finding it, you can hold off for a while, let that jugular fill. You know it's going to be in here somewhere. Watch this spot when I take my hand away. So you see how that went away? So that was all that blood building up. So you need to hold off, and you need to keep holding off the whole time that you're drawing blood out, because we're drawing it out of this area that we're letting pool with blood. So then you're going to go at a 45-degree angle to the skin, and then you want your whole needle and syringe to be in line with how that jugular runs. So if you're poking in this way, you're just going to go through that jugular up into the muscle. We want it to be in line with everything. You can see that go away again. No, not up here. If you go, so the jugular and artery, the artery splits deeper the closer to the head you get to go into those different facial arteries. On cows, you're hardly ever being able to draw down here anyway, but you would be closer. Doesn't matter if you draw blood out of an artery, but you don't want to put medication into an artery. And you can see that, you know, when it gets held off, that basically it's running this whole width here. So you can see that filling up. You can feel it when you come up here too. So when this is filling with blood, it's basically running here to here. So that's a pretty good area to work in. It's good to break the seal on your syringe first. So pull it back because they are a little stuck there. So then pull it back, push it back up. We don't want any air in when we go in. And then I don't think all of you were in here when I said it before, but a lot of people want to be really nice and gentle and just slowly push the needle in. It actually just prolongs the little sting for them to do that. And you're not going to get into the vessel doing that. You're just going to bounce off of that thick vessel wall. So it needs to be a pretty quick, forceful to a point poke with it. So line everything up, push in, and you get your blood back. And then you can let off, you can pull back, all good.
Use like so your hand lets go and then you switch.
Yeah, you can do it at the same time. But if you are holding off still when you pull out, they might have a little more come out of the spot where your needle was. Not a big deal. It'll seal up. So whoever wants to be the first couple to go while we have time here,